Welcome to Same But Different. This week we were reviewing Civil War, directed by Alex Garland. You might know him from such movies as Ex Machina, or the writer of 28 Days and 28 Weeks Later. I think he did 28 Weeks as well.
You're wrong.
Anyway,
I didn't know that.
this is Civil War. Election time is coming up soon, so we thought it would be apropos. Is that the phrase?
Yeah.
So let's hear your thoughts, Brody. What did you think about Civil War?
This was cool because I've read articles about it. I've read reviews on it since it came out, things like that. I never saw the trailer.
Oh.
Which is exciting. So I kind of knew what I was getting into, but I didn't fully know what I was getting into. I read a lot of reviews absolutely bashing this movie. I guess that comes from a point of political views. I can't fathom why anybody was politically offended by this movie.
Does that offend you?
Nope.
Like, it did not pick a party to stand behind at all. It painted a very neutral landscape of what this future might look like. So I can't imagine why liberals, conservatives, the right, the left, anybody looked at this and thought, "Ah, not my future, dystopian America." It's crazy.
Was it less like liberals or conservatives, or more just like Americans being like, "Huh, the president's not the bad guy"?
Yeah, maybe it was more like
You know?
that, but yeah, who knows? But
It's just a movie.
it's a movie and it's somebody's viewpoint and they didn't take sides. So y'all need to relax and enjoy it for what it was. I think the pacing of this movie was really, really, really well done. It gave you a lot of hard-hitting moments along the way. It gave you breaks in those moments to allow you to relax with these characters and get to know them and get to learn about them. From a very gripping intro to the movie, it all slowly kind of built what you were getting to, and then an absolutely fucking phenomenal climax, in my opinion. Holy
Yeah.
God.
It was like listening to a Call of Duty game.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
It became like a political action thriller with like tints of sci-fi, not really sci-fi, but like kind of the fiction aspect of, I don't know. The genre of this movie is very tough to place. I think it's a pretty easy thing to say that the cinematography was the highlight of this movie. It was gorgeous. Beautiful movie. Even a shot of a sprinkler on a lawn had me like, whoa. The acting across the board was really good. I was so happy to see Kirsten Dunst a bit. I was worried at the beginning because she was so like, I'm too hardened for emotion. But she opened up a little bit, and she's such a great actor, I think. But everyone was believable and raw, and I know what it's like to be a war photographer, so I can say that.
The smartest guy on the internet.
I mean, after watching this movie, you got a nice taste of it.
You definitely did. And again, kind of the opposite of Hitman like we did last week. I never really realized what that job entails. I never even realized that was the job. Like, I just assumed they were at the barracks or behind the lines. I never really realized there were people hired to do that. Crazy. Shout out to this movie for being under 2 hours.
Yeah.
I don't mind long movies, especially when it's this kind of content. For sure, I understand when they're longer, but like, you never see a movie with this weight to it be an hour 49.
And I sat in every minute of that hour 49.
Yes,
I'll
sir.
tell ya.
Yes, sir. Me too. And last bit of good, and then I'm going to move on to maybe some iffy gripes I had. That scene with Jesse Plemons was crazy. Just glued to my screen. It was sadistic, it was freaky, it was uncomfortable, and so damn good. Now, just a couple of bads that took away any like perfect sort of rating for this kind of movie. I think I don't know any other names, which isn't a very good sign. But I think the development of her little protege, the Padawan-esque character, I think it happened a little too quickly. I think she went from being very scared of everything and really overwhelmed to, you know, running through gunfire excitedly to get a great shot. And I think that came when she saw her first beautiful shot and Kirsten Dunst's character was like, it's a good picture. I think that's kind of when it turned for her. But
Right.
we didn't really see it. It just kind of, one scene she was scared, the next scene she was all for it. The other main gripe, this one's a bigger gripe, but it's also hard to complain about because I get why they didn't do it, but some explanation of how or why we got here would have been nice to see. You know, who are the WF? They didn't really ever even say, like, who are they? Is the president at fault? How did he get in office? There were just a little, And I get it, because those were if we had those answers, then this movie would have taken a side. And it didn't ultimately need it either, because this movie was about the reporters. But it just would have been nice. And I guess that might have changed the point of the movie, but it also felt like it was missing some form of explanation. If we're in a dystopian future, we should kind of know how we got there. Being that those are my only gripes, but they are two big gripes, it knocks off 2 points from a perfect 10. I'm giving it 8 out of 10.
Oh, man. Lost those 2 right at the end.
Yeah, it was impressive. It was beautiful. It was important. It was really hard to watch, but in a good way. I liked it a lot.
I agree. I'm going to come out of the gate and say it was really good. I enjoyed my time thoroughly. So if I'm watching a movie at home, it's been a very long while, admittedly, where I haven't checked my phone at just once.
Rude.
Yeah, fair enough.
I did not check my phone once during this movie, not even for the time. I was sucked in. It was nuts. And what can I say that you haven't already said? Honestly, I agree with everything you said. The pacing was amazing. What you didn't mention, and what I'd like to add in there, is the transitionary time we got between the craziness and then to the calm time with the characters, and then vice versa, where it was just kind of them driving on the road, or slow motion this, slow motion that, pictures they're taking, kind of montagey, but not really. Incredible. Also breathing time, but it was breathing time so that you could process both the intensity and the character development. And yeah, cinematography was fantastic. The acting was fantastic. However, this isn't a gripe. This doesn't take points off the movie. I'm not a huge Kirsten Dunst fan. I'm not.
Okay.
I think she's kind of a bland actor. However, this role, I think she killed it. She's a bland actor, but it fit for this role, because at the beginning she was very just ugh.
Yeah.
And we get the one moment at the end where everything's in tension. She finally kind of hits her breaking point, which I would have liked to see that evolution a little bit more. Up until that point, she was very stoic, very strong, very unbreakable. We have moments of her kind of thinking, oh, war. Oh. But we don't really get how it's creeping into the cracks that she apparently has and actually broke her open at the end. She just all of a sudden just turns on a switch and she's crying and screaming at the end. I like the comparison between her turning into that and then her protege turning into her. The ending was the best visual, visceral experience. I think Jesse Plemons was the best acting experience. And it also showed that, whether or not there's left or right fighting each other, there's always going to be assholes that are just fucking bad human beings.
You're just a shit jerk, dick, fucker.
Yep.
I think I'm going to give this, just to be different, because I was sitting at an 8, and then the more I talk about it, I just find myself loving it even more. I'm going to go ahead and give this a 9 out of 10.
Nice, dude.
This movie was crazy good.
Yeah, it was. I'm thinking 8 was too low. But I guess I can't now, so we're different. But go watch this movie if it interests you. If what this movie is doesn't interest you, right off the hop, you're not going to like it.
And not that I'm trying to convince you one way or the other, but if you have this notion that it is a political movie, toss that out. Because as much as there's the political undertone, because it's the state of the country that they're in, everything is seen through the literal lens of a photographer, and there's no even political talk or discussions in the movie.
Nope.
Have you seen Civil War? If you've seen it, please let us know in the comment section below. Let us know what you thought about it. And while you're down there, subscribe to the channel, like the video, because we love talking about movies. We love talking about movies with you guys. And when you comment, we get to interact, and that's fun.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll like your comment. We'll say, hey, thanks for the comment. Unless you suck, then we'll say, hey, mind your business.
Mind your business. Move along.
Yeah.
Next week is a little special because the movie that we're going to watch was born and raised in Canada. All the actors in it, Canadian. All the filmmakers are Canadian. I know a few of the actors. I've worked with a few of the actors, actually. And it's making waves in the horror community. It is called In a Violent Nature. And the one selling point it's got going for it, the gimmick, I guess, is that it's in the perspective of the serial killer.
I always love seeing a new experimental kind of horror film, right? So
I've seen Stephen King review it. I've seen Mike Flanagan review it. They love it. I've seen Edgar Wright review it. He loves it.
Really?
People that we love it. You know what I mean? So come on back next week when we talk about In a Violent Nature. Thank you for watching. We love you, and keep watching movies.
Yeah.
Does that offend you?
Nope.